What's interesting about story, right, is that story has a really unique way of shifting just about everything. I've been in business now for 15 years. And what's so fascinating for me is that along my journey in being in business, trying things, getting things wrong, figuring things out the hard way, I wish I understood how powerful story was in the beginning. Like, I don't regret it, but if there was one thing that I could change about my journey and being in business and shifting my philosophies and my values and who I am, hands down it would be story. Story is not just something fun for us to tap into. Story is not just, well, let me see if I can tell my story for the sake of telling my story. Story, hands down, is the answer. It sits at the root. It sits at the baseline, I promise you, to just about every scenario you could give me. If you were to tell me right now, so out of the gate, I'm going to say story is the number one tool, asset, and thing you need to make money in your business. For sure. Awesome. Let's push that aside. Let me take that to another sector. Story is the number one thing that I use to raise my children. Story is the number one thing that I use for every friendship I have in my life today. Story is the number one thing that I use for the wonderful sponsors that we have with us here in this room. Story is the number one thing for me to build bridges and relationships with facilities like this. Story is the number one thing that I use at every conversation, near or far. Because story is the only thing that we each have that actually makes us unique. So in a world where we're constantly looking to differentiate ourselves and position ourselves a little differently, and we go out and we say, great, I'm going to wear these hoops. I'm going to wear earrings that are gold and these style earrings that are from this store that no one else has ever found. This is what's going to make me unique. And if it's not that, it's going to be this dress, right? Because there's no one else in the whole world who's ever worn this dress, right? The truth is that we're often looking at things to make us unique, to stand out, and more importantly, to connect. But we're focused on the wrong things. We have a very firm belief here at Onwards to Freedom, and it's a statement that I live and die by. Connection is currency. It is so true on so many levels. Connection is currency. Next year in 2019, I may just change that to connection is everything. Because currency is not just money. We're not just talking about dollars and cents. Currency is literally and truly the relationships you have, the friendships, the wealth that you have in love and laughter, because that is what I measure my quality of life by. Strictly. How much love and laughter do I have on a regular basis, then on a daily basis, and sometimes on an hourly basis? Love and laughter really and truly is the essence of what makes life so exciting, and for me, what makes my pursuit in business so exciting. Now, when you think about story and building relationships, building friendships, building connections, pulling things together, I really want you to sit inside of this. Your story is the only thing the world has never heard before. Your story is the only thing that actually makes you unique. There has never in the history of the planet been another you. I am the only Tiffany Largie. There has never, ever been another Tiffany Largie, and there will never be another Tiffany Largie. There will never be another Carol Johnson. There will never be another Joyce Bucher. There will never be another Ashley Weber. You are the only you. Which means when you think about connecting and building and doing anything that you want to do, anything at all, no matter what it is, when you think about the essence of it, you absolutely have to lean on the only tool that you have that really makes you unique, that sets you apart, but more importantly, allows you to do the most important thing, which is connect. The deeper, harder, bigger, better, and badder that you can learn how to master connecting, the easier it'll be for you to do whatever it is you want to do in your life. And I really do mean the words, whatever you want to do. 15 years ago, I was in this place in which not only did I believe that it wasn't possible, I believed that I was not possible. 15 years ago, I sat in Miami, Florida with Jada and Maya. They're 18 months apart, so they were super little. And every day, every individual day, I felt like it was the end of the world, is the truth. I felt like it was the end of the world because I had no answers. I made $10.22 an hour. I don't have a college education. I don't have any licenses or certifications, and I have these 2 kids. I have zero clue where dad is. And somehow I have to figure it out because they keep saying they're hungry. I found myself in this cycle where I started not being able to respond to that request. I could not say to them when we were going to eat. A lot of times I had no clue when we weren't going to eat, and a lot of times those kids went to bed hungry. It was the toughest part. You know, putting those kids to bed hungry was so hard, and it wasn't hard because it wasn't hard because I just didn't want to put them to bed hungry. It was hard for me because I felt like every day I just felt like more and more of a failure as a human. Forget just as a mom, just as a human, because I couldn't feed these kids, and they're my responsibility. And so I started, at first I kind of said to myself, I don't know if I want to live anymore. I don't really think I can do this life thing. This shit's too hard. I can't do it. I cannot do it. Other people may be made for this thing. Tiffany Largie cannot do it. And the tough part about my story, it wasn't the fact that I didn't want to live. It was the fact that I have 2 little kids. And so if I go, what happens to them? I started a business 15 years ago, not because I had a bright idea or because I invented something or I write code or anything cool like that. I didn't do anything like that. I started a business simply because I wanted, in my mind at that time, I wanted to be able to make the kind of money that you might be able to make if you had a college degree. So like my hope and goal was like, oh my gosh, if we could just get $4,000 a month, we'd be rich. In my mind, $4,000 a month, we were like partying every weekend. You know what I mean? Like we literally, $4,000 a month, in my mind at that time, we were filthy rich. Is the truth. Never in my wildest dreams would I have believed at all, even remotely close, that I would embark upon a journey of starting a business, then starting a few more businesses. And 3 years ago, I sold a company. For the last 15 years, I've built 3 multiple 6-figure businesses, and then I went on to build a multiple 7-figure business. Now, why I share that with you, it's not really the essence of the business itself. It's the core of this statement. I did it with my story. Owning my story, not apologizing for it. Owning my story, not apologizing for it, and then sharing it became the backbone of my entire life.